Is this on? I'll open here today with my standard line. I'm Nate. It's nice to finally meet you. This is my wife, Donita. Got plenty of practice with that last night at the visitation. I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. I didn't realize this was spring-loaded. That's dangerous. Donita and I really appreciate everyone coming out today and last night. Many of you have sent cards and flowers that our dogs will be thrilled about when we take them home. Your notes of appreciation and emails and phone calls have all been much appreciated. It's been a long couple of weeks for us, certainly, but we thank you for your support along the way. Those of you who are looking at me a little bit differently today, my hair is immaculately straight this morning. I used Johnson & Johnson No Tangle shampoo last night. Just got tired of comb getting stuck in my hair, so I went with a different product today. Before we get started here today, I want to make a few announcements, get a few things straight here, perhaps some misconceptions about some of the things you may or may not have known about my mom before we get to the serious stuff here. For those of you that didn't know my mom, maybe other than talking to her on the phone, I'd like to let you know that Gracie is a dog and not a person. If you talk to my mom, any conversation with my mom was always a recap of what Gracie and I did. Gracie and I ate dinner. Gracie and I did our exercises. Gracie and I sat on the porch. Gracie and I went to work. Gracie and I got our hair done. Gracie and I just got done doing the laundry, which is amazing because our dogs, they take the laundry out of the basket and unfold it. But apparently Gracie is able to fold it and put it back, so. Gracie and I were working out in the garden, and my favorite one to hear when we would talk to her on the phone, you know, Gracie and I were just talking about that. We weren't always sure who was actually taking care of who. She liked to pretend, my mom did, that she was taking care of Gracie, but most of us know that it was most likely the other way around. Until Gracie met a situation that was too much for her to handle, and she would demand some extra care. Gracie would release my mom to the custody of the hospital, for example, for her treatments, and then Gracie would move on to a bigger challenge, like taking care of Scott, for example. I kind of felt bad the last few weeks when my mom was in the hospital. She started having complications with her lungs, and those of you that have been reading along over the last couple of weeks know what I'm talking about. We initially were not that concerned. Because I just figured, she's 58 years old, and lung dysfunction is going to be natural for someone in her situation. I just thought that from all those years of doing all the talking, her lungs were just saying, hey, we need a break, okay? Can we just get a couple days to rest? If you knew my mom, you knew when talking to her, you didn't really have to worry about carrying a conversation. You just had to worry about being carried on for too long. My mom did enjoy going to thrift stores and buying as much as she could for as little as possible. She was always so proud of what she could find for a quarter. And often she would give out these quarter prizes, these gifts to people that she just happened to be thinking about at the time. And I was never really sure how to take that. I mean, it would sound something like this. Well, I was thinking about you the other day, and so I went to Goodwill and bought the cheapest thing I could find. Those of you that are husbands out there, I would not recommend taking that route for anniversaries and birthdays. It was always interesting to receive one of those quarter gifts, and actually, for me, it was more fun watching someone else receive one of those gifts, because whenever you would get one of those quarter gifts, there was always this natural human reaction that you would see in the face. It would go unspoken, but you would see it. It was kind of a half smile, and the eyebrows would raise just for an instant. The half smile was there to say, well, it's nice that you were thinking of me. And the raised eyebrows would suggest, I'm surprised you'd think anyone would wear that in public. And speaking of the Goodwill stores, we do have an announcement to make for those that are from the Muscatine area. The Muscatine Goodwill will have a surplus inventory of ties within the next week. See, I'm a basketball coach. Most of you know that. I've been coaching for 6 years now. We play 22 games a year, and my mom, I guess, wasn't sure. She thought maybe that you have to wear a different tie for every game of your career. And so every time we would come and visit, or she would come and visit, there would always be a plastic grocery bag full of ties from Salvation Army, Goodwill, various dumpsters around Cedar Rapids, etc. And let's just say that these ties were available at thrift stores for a reason. Now, you're probably thinking that we held on to those ties, because we didn't want to offend her. We didn't want to make her feel bad if we would have returned them or taken them to the Goodwill in Muscatine. And actually, that was not the case at all. We piled those ties up in a closet in our house because we were afraid if we took them back to Goodwill, she would just buy them again and give them back to us one more time.